Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to this live stream. I know it's scheduled for 10, but I just had to put in a time. On these live streams, I'll typically go when I'm ready. I try to give myself enough time to at least get the camera set up and send myself the link so that I can get it going. But that's all I really need to do. Hey, in this live stream, we're going to be working on Clodbuster axles here. I want to get back to the RetroBuster build. However, I don't want to consider this part of that series because this is really about these axles. And I'm going to spend more time on this because I have to take them apart. I bought these a while back. Man, it's been a while since I bought these. They were already assembled. I got them on the same group. And yeah, so I just need to go in now and tear these down. Basically, I want to remove these right here. Because if you bust one of these knuckles, you're going to have to remove this whole axle, take apart the case, and go in from the inside. Everything we're going to do today in order to change out this. And in a race day, that's not going to happen. However, Crawford Performance Engineering, CPE, has screws or bolts that you can actually just tap into here. Now, they tell you to use a tap and do all that. I've never done that. I just screw in the bolt and it kind of taps itself as it goes in. I know it's not the way that most people would say to do it, but I've had good success with it the last 8 or so years since I've been doing it, and I have it on probably 6 axle sets already. So we're just going to do it that way. It does make for it to be a pain in the butt. The screws also aren't a traditional size that we use for RC. They are 7/64ths, so I had to go on and order this because I was using, where are they at? This huge setup right here. And it was not fun. I would prefer to screw like this. So I've got Clodbuster parts for days, you guys, which is awesome. I bought it from a friend, Joshua Sanford, when I was in Virginia, when he was getting out of it. I just bought up all this stuff, and I have a whole bin of parts. I've also added to it and bought parts, and are in there from CPE. He sells just like part trees and all that, so I like to have extra part tree stuff on hand for myself, and because I give away parts to other people as they break stuff, and then I just try to replace what I had or gave out just to make sure that I have stuff going forward. So, and like plastic hangers like this that actually are the anti-rotation brackets for them. I have metal ones, and so I usually will I'll keep the plastic ones. I have metal ones like these right here. And I'll usually replace the plastic ones, and then I'll just put them in here in case somebody breaks one. Because they get brittle, and they do break. It's just the nature of the game. But yeah, anyway, so we're going to go in here. I got Crawford Performance. I'll put it here to show you guys. These are actually if you want to use regular hex screws instead of running the all the other case ones for your assembly here on your axle, he sells a kit for that, and that's what this is here. And so it's got all the nuts and everything, but these are hexes so that you can just use your drivers and the stuff that you have instead of a Phillip head, which is what the Tamiya's use, which is kind of annoying. But he has all kinds of cool part kits and like these motor mounts here if you want to be able to have adjustable motors for doing different pinions. He's got all kinds of cool stuff on the site, and I've been keeping my stock ones. We're gonna actually put these on a couple because our race rules are gonna require a here's another bracket. This year we're gonna go back to the stock pinion size for all of our retro. Well, not for all of our retro, for the Clodbuster, and then I'll work on finding out what gearing ratio that would be for other platforms that want to compete with us for retro, just to keep it a little bit slower and still fun class. You can still do bearings, you can still do bigger tires, you can do little things that'll increase your speed here and there, but the idea is to keep the class a slow class like it was when I started. So, and then, you know, from there everyone starts chasing stuff and they make these motor mounts and make them faster and all that. But I want to go back to the 80s and that feel of that truck when it came out, and allow for other people like J Concepts and them that are building newer versions that want to compete in this we'll just kind of say, okay, well, you got different gears, we'll make it work. So let's go ahead, and I need to flip this camera around here, and we'll get working. Stop chat. Boom. What's up, Osborne? John Martin. Hey, John. How are you doing, man? Are you getting ready? You're going to race with us again this year? I should have the dates out today. I have them all locked down. I have locations set. We decided to just go with the 2 places we used last year, just for simplicity as we get started. Having been there and worked with them already, it made for an easier way for me to just get dates out this year, so we can have a great start to the first year. And then next season we'll look at, it'll give me time this season to work with other people and find out if we're going to do other places coming up. My coffee here. Now, I did this axle already. I should have shown it. This is what it actually looks like when you're done with it. So we only have 1 to do. So you can see the hexes right there. So that's what we're going for with this. So if I break it, we can just go in there and take it out. A lot easier tear down to get in here and remove this. So this was not as big of a handle as I thought it was going to be when I ordered it. I'm going to be straight honest. So this is down here because we are going to take these back off. We want to grind off these little nubs here, these stops, so that this will be able to turn full. There's 2 ways you could do it. You could take off here, and that way any new ones you put on, you don't have to keep grinding them down. Most people don't do it that way. We just grind off this piece. So I have to work on tearing this down. Going old school here. We're just going to remove our hubs here. And get going. What's up, Matt? He says, can't wait for some monster truck racing. I'm getting so pumped. I just was out running and freezing my hands off. I chose the coldest day, of course, that we've had this month to go out and record the the Lucas stabilizer truck. I just was running that, and I'm going to keep all my screws on this here. Cow RC mat, get all my 30th stuff off it. Gonna need these. I'm just gonna go ahead and pour them out here. I feel like I'm missing one. And I didn't lose it because I had a magnet mat up there. So I don't know if I was short one or what. So I got to figure something out when I get there because I've only got 7 in here. And I've gone through that whole mat and everything and can't find one. So we'll see what we can do there. I wonder if I can steal one out of that other thing. Wonder if this has something similar. These aren't as big. So one of them may just have 3. Looking through my kits over here to the side, see if I have anything that would work. Doesn't look like it. I wonder with my snowmobile, though, I've got stuff up in my studio. If I do, we'll have to add it later because I don't have it here, but I have a bunch of M3 stuff over there. And that might work. They're pretty big like this. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to install 3 on one of these. And then I'll probably just order another kit. I'll probably do it on the bottom here. I think that'll be the easiest to do later. So I'll probably leave that one open. Or maybe this back one. That's going to have the least pull. Actually, let's do this back one. Because landing is going to pull up on that. Hitting stuff forward is going to pull there. I think that one, if anything, isn't going to have much torque against it. So we'll leave that one off. In case I forget, let's just be honest. So, wondering where I could get a 1.4 by 16 millimeter bolt. I can't find one. I need one too, Shannon. So if you find them, let me know. But yeah, so that video I did for the Lucas Oil, that was brutally cold, and my hands hurt for a while after it. Smiling Bear had a Clod kit sitting on the shelf for 5 years. Time to get it built. There you go. They're actually a pretty fun build. My son, we just realized, like, holy cow, race season's coming up quick. So we need to get out and get his built too. He's got the axles assembled, but that's it. So there's a lockout here. We're not going to be using this lockout, so I'm going to just go ahead and take this off of here for now. Pretty cool little lockout though. Just this little bar here. Clever way to do it. Just use a normal steering setup and then lock it out on here. Don't hate that. Pretty cool. That's off. We're going to have to grind these down, remember. So let's see if these bushings stay in here. They aren't staying in. So let's go ahead and pop them out. They're falling out anyway. This would have been probably easier to do not from a pre-built axle, honestly. It'd been probably easier to just take the time and build it and do it as you're building it. I always find taking things apart and redoing them to be a little bit of a pain. I think I can grind that with it still on here. I think I'll be all right. So most of this can stay together. We do have to take off this support here. And here. Lots of little things to kind of keep track of. Steve says he's got a place to find some screws. But yeah, first monster truck race that we're going to do is April 11th. I can actually get the dates for it here. We can show them on here. I'm not afraid of showing the dates. I just am going to make up a sheet with pictures and the dates and where they're going to be. But I've got them here. Let me just make them a little bigger. All right, JT Hobby and Toys. Let me just spell it out. And I'll put that on the date so you'll see it when we make this visible. All right. I'll show you the dates we're planning right now. Trying to share screen. Let's do a window. I got a lot of windows open. There it is. That's what we're looking at right now for the dates. What's up, Sean? So yeah, April 11th at Walter RC Park is the start. Then May 2nd at JT Hobby and Toys. That's in Battle Creek. Walters is in Saranac, kind of Ionia area. So it's kind of like central-ish west and then like the southwest west area of Michigan. And then Walters on May 30th. That's our June date basically, but June's pretty packed, so decided to do May 30th instead. July 18th is because I'm going to be at the Monster Jam World Finals at the beginning of July, I believe, July 4th. So then it's my son's birthday coming up after that. So I need a little buffer in there in case we went somewhere for his birthday. Then back to August 8th, September 12th. That's wrong. That's not supposed to be the 5th. I realized that was Labor Day weekend. People are in Michigan. That's their last day of their boating and putting their boats away. So September 12th and October 3rd will kind of be like a finals event. So I haven't decided exactly how that's going to look. If it's just going to be these 6 dates or the point series, and then this will just kind of be a big event. Get your trophies. Bring in outsiders. We'll have trophies for that specific day. We'll make it like a world finals of just West Michigan, and run it then, and have like a race day trophy for participants that day, the winner of that event, and then give out the series trophies. Anyway, got to figure that out, but I think that's going to be like an extra type of race. So yes, that's what we're looking at right now. All right, back to the teardown. So he's got this taped up. Just keeping in some of these screws. There is I hope these ones aren't the same. So these have screws in it. For whatever reason, this piece here in these axles is really tight. Like, really tight. Will not come out without destroying them. There's a lip on them or something that's been created, and you have to basically destroy them to get them out. And I had spare ones to put in the others, so I don't know if he made these for this axle, but either way, it won't pull through on either side. So either it's gotten kind of mushroomed out at the top of them or what, not sure. But it's weird that none of these are just coming out. My other ones that I had in my case just slid right through. So kind of am curious what these are and why they're so hard to get out. But there we go. Got one of them. Didn't have to damage that as bad as the one last time. I feel like if I just kind of roll these in a little. I might be able to get it through. That one just got kind of wallered in pretty bad. There it went. Now I gotta get it off my driver. Those will be fun to put back in. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't know what went on with these. But you get to learn this stuff, and just by looking at the parts, you know where they go. And so I haven't been keeping track. These are going to be kind of obvious based on the length of them. What we're dealing with here. I wish I had a drill, but we don't. It's all over in the studio for the other build. I'm hoping if I get this done this morning, that later on this afternoon, I'll go over and finish that up. We'll get our axles installed, and we'll get that thing moving toward being closer to being done. I probably won't get body mounted and all that. I still don't actually even have shocks built for it, to be honest. But we'll be able to get the axles mounted and that kind of stuff. Just moving that thing a little bit more toward completion. All right, let's see this one here. I will probably, that one's rounded out a bit. Like they're trying to keep it tight for their steering. They really went to town on that one. But I'm excited about this class if we can get it running. up here. I need to make some more obstacles. Obstacles also help with this class because it helps slow it down and make it more unpredictable, which is my favorite part about the class. It's just the unpredictability of it. So when you watch the old school monster trucks, I was just watching a series. They were climbing up hills and racing and doing all kinds of stuff, and they were just so unpredictable when they hit the crush cars and get sideways and squirrely, and so fun. All right, that is stored with that now, so we'll end up taking those off of there when we add it to the when we put his lockouts on. And then, oh, it might be a little crack there. When that happens, then we'll throw that in our bin of parts. I think it's just the lighting looks like cracks. They're not cracked. All right, so looks like we are ready to break the case. Oh, one more. I missed it. It's a black screw here. So stock Clod marketplace for a couple $100. Wasn't gonna go. Yeah, we wouldn't drive a couple hours for it. You're gonna start seeing them probably pop up. In fact, there was a really nice full built one on Sam. Sean had it. Johnson, I think it was. Had it on there. Look at that. These have very light grease in it. But that's probably good for racing, so honestly. I can definitely feel the grease on it. And you can see it here where it's worked in. Nice. All right. We're going to pull this guy out of here. This is where it gets fun. Trying to keep all this sorted. Now we're not pulling on any of this hard. We're just gently pulling it out here. So this is kept in by an E-clip. We're not going to mess around with that. Oh, you know what? My secure wrench would work for this. I don't have it down here. But you can get a new Clod for a little over 200, I think. Or that's what we got them for, 250. You can find deals on them. But if you can get one that's fully built out and it's like, I don't know, $500, that is not a bad deal, especially if it's got a body and nice tires and wheels on it. That stuff all adds up. And there was a Coors Silver Bullet truck. I think he wanted $500 for it on a aftermarket chassis. Already got the because if you buy the kit, then you're going to want to buy the on-axle steering. You're going to want to buy the lockout stuff. I mean, you can make them. This is just threaded rod here with over tubing on it. That's all that you need for that. They're easy to make. But you're going to want shocks. You're going to need the hobby wing system. Some places that you race, and so I just recommend it. We don't require it. You can run a stock motor in our class, but some places will make you run Axial or J Concepts or RC Foil Drive cans that have a sticker on them. That way they know that you're not just putting a different silver can in that's more than 27 turn like the stock was. But we're not trying to be too crazy with it, just letting people know, hey, you may want to do that because if you go somewhere else, they're going to require it. So definitely that's a good caveat to know. All right, so let's go ahead and put these in. Really drive it in there. This made my hands hurt. That's why I stopped after one. So that's why you tap them out ahead of time. That's one of the reasons. But you can see it's going in. It's threading its way in there. There it went. So I've never had it pull out of here. What I always have is these break right here. And then I just unscrew these, put new ones in. Never been an issue with me drilling them in like this. So, and I did one of the rounded ones tips because you're going to want that for getting in here for sure. So you got to come in at an angle, but you're wanting it to screw straight. So you can kind of see that there. So you're going to want to get the ball ended ones. This isn't too bad, but there's 8 of them total, although we'll only be doing 7 today. We're gonna shake out the hand a little, grab a little coffee. It is still morning here, 10:30. Getting it done. That's nice and solid. We'll let this side be the one we don't do this screw on. Now the problem being, it's open here. I might just see if I can't thread this stock one in here. I'll probably just put that in for now. No, it sticks too far out. I can't do that. I have to cut it down. Let me just go ahead and measure this really quick. So that I know what I'm going to be dealing with here. It's like 9, 10. So if I get something that's in that 9 to 10 range, I'll be all right. Now there is a gap down there. I could put that screw back in. There's a pretty big opening behind that. So it's not going to hit if it's too long. That's one of those things I might just put on with like just one dab of shoe goo or something where I could pop it out, just break it free. But I'll see if I have a screw upstairs that'll work. Yeah, I was shocked when I was going through the kit that night when I was going to work on it and I only saw 7 left. I'm like, not sure what's going on here. Got out my magnet to see if I'd dropped it on the floor or whatever, but never found it. Just trying some different screws in here to see if any of them are thick enough. All right, so we'll call that one good. Actually, I'm going to do the other side where there's... Yeah, no, this is the side. Got more room in here. Okay, we'll leave that one as is. Put this back in here. What's up, Kurt? Take an act of God to find him. So Vanquish just announced that they were doing the bolt-on kind, which is awesome, except that I just bought a whole slew of their Eclipse after my last build. Okay, so I'm a little bummed. All right. This is actually not too bad. Not for the amount of enjoyment I'm going to get on this. And then, so actually when we were in, where were we? We were in Indiana racing at the International Monster Truck Hall of Fame and Museum in Butler, Indiana, with No Limit RC of Virginia. And one of the guys busted one of these, and he did not have the easy change clips. And he was like, well, because we did qualifying the same day we raced, there wasn't going to be time for him to bust this down and fix it in order to be ready for racing. So this is about making this a lot quicker. Because at that point, we'll just have to take off the 2 screws here, 2 screws on these, the brace, and then you can pull this out. And, you know, as quickly as you're seeing me do that other part, you can get a new one in here. It's not bad at all. And once these are in the first time, they're a little bit easier the next time to thread. I like to start with these outer ones here because you can go at them easier, a little bit straighter. And you got to get a lot of pressure on the first one and hold it all down in order to get it to thread without pushing away. And so, sorry, I'm pushing hard. Gotta hold my breath when I do it. You can see it's kind of gapping there a little. So in order to keep that tight, it's harder when you're coming in from an angle. So basically that's why I do it here. This would be even easier if I bought a 7/64 drill bit to get it started. There, it's sucking it tight. Nice. That is a forearm workout. Again, that's why you're supposed to tap it. Travis just did his like this, and he bought a tap and he tapped his. He offered to let me borrow it, but I figured I'd be done with it before then. What's up, Max Paul? He's listening while he works on one-to-one cars and trucks at work. So you can see where they come through on this side. Still got to work this one some more. Give my form a little break here. You definitely are working it in there when you're doing this. And if this was a bigger handle, that'd be sweet. We'll probably order another one. But I will look at the pictures and see if anyone shows it. Give myself a little break here. Check the comments, but also hit a banner up here with the channel members. Shout out to them. As we're going here into 2026. Also, big shout out to everyone that's been buying stuff on the website recently. Seedlings. Kurt got some seedlings. I don't know about anybody else in the chat here if they got them or not. I've sold several of them And I haven't even done a video on them yet, which is crazy. That always helps when you can show people how they work. All right. Where are they? Here's one. Should have one more. Uh-huh. I only put 3 in that one. Where'd that 7th one go? Oh, here. I was measuring it. Ooh. I gotta go hang some more lights up in the garage. I bought some LED lighting because the fluorescent bulbs in there are gone. And it's hard to find fluorescent bulbs anymore. Trevor says he's going to be putting his RetroBuster Excalibur build together this weekend. Sweet. I'm trying to decide if I'm doing mine as Excalibur. Travis just did Excalibur, so it'd stink to have, with the few retro trucks we're doing, duplicates. But I really want to have an Excalibur. There's a couple I want to do. I want to do Thunder Chicken. One of my buddies was saying he wanted to do the Skull Bandit, so I don't want to do that. If he's already going to do Skull. It's tough because I try and go based on what bodies I can get easily, too. Whew. Feeling the burn. Yowza. You know what? I think I have another one of these kits. I could just steal from it while I have this apart. And I'll just buy another one as a bonus. Let me look through my bin. My bin of Tamiya parts. Ah, here's where this is. I was looking for this. Must have brought it over from the studio in this. These are awesome lockouts for the rear. I think these were ZRP back in the day. Made these. These are sweet. Some of them even had a little trailer hitch on it. J Concept silent speed motors. Roll bars. Axial motor. Oh, here's one of those bent pieces. Another silent speed. Ladders. Bumpers. Horizon 15 turn. What's this doing in here? Oh my goodness. These are all stock hardware and bushings. Oh, there's pinions in here too. Are those marked? 'Cause I'm pretty sure these are 13 tooth. That's what we've been saying. But I just did a Google search on that, what came with them. Maybe we should check one of these. Look at all these stock pieces. Put a little Sharpie mark on it here. And count our way around, starting on the mark and then ending on the one before it. Awesome Kong's a good one. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, so that's what we're going to go back to. Good old 13 toother. Bouncing all over the place. Maybe we'll do 15. Nah, because then people got to get all the expansion pieces and trying to keep it easy. Easy and fun. All right, so I'm looking in here for another one of those parts. Look at all these knuckles here. I probably got most of these are pre-ground. I went on a grinding day. I think we just ground them all down like that. Just flattened them off. Or you can get like these 3D printed ones. My buddy Dylan made for me. Here's the brushed ESC. This is the dual motor one. Those are what you want. And we got them in here that are not already. I'll probably do those while I have this out. So get that out for when I'm going to town with it. Here's some more ground down ones. Axle housing. This was my grandma ones. These were fast. These were stockers. But they were somebody must have water done these because they were awesome. Yeah. Yep, there's the grandma ones. We had to, wherever I was racing, we had to have labeled ones. Here's another. Got a lot of those knuckles, and smart enough to keep a screwdriver in here in case you need to work on it. Here's the grandma rear. I labeled them because they were good. Here's the J Concept servo mount. This is the behind axle one. Another 15 turn? What is that all about? Some shocks. A shock. Another silver can. Oh, another shock. Maybe I'll pull these out. These might be useful. They feel pretty good. Or is that the same one? Did I just throw it back in? No, it's over here. They seem short. And they don't have any pillow balls in the top. All right, so here's another silver can. Taking all this stuff out of here. What's this thing? Here's CPE. That's what I think I'm looking for. Lots of CPE stuff. Servo mount. So this is his servo mount that he had. These are brace trusses. Another servo mount. Man, so much stuff in here. It's like Christmas. Oh my goodness. Motors and pinions and washers falling out of everywhere that are stuck to these motors. Because of the magnets. So there's 4 pinions in here. Does not look like these are going to be like steering links. There's not a screw kit. I thought I had another screw kit in here. Felt like I bought a bajillion of them. Oh, here's the nice Clodbuster steering knuckles from Hot Racing. What's up on Flood RC? These are the parts in case they break that we're working on. Here's another shock, 2 shocks. Oh, that one's stiff. I don't know if that's more motors or the same ones. All right, well, I did not see trash. I was hoping I would have more screws in here. All right, well, there's definitely parts for days in here. These are bead locks. Roll cage. All right. Well, put all this back. Leave a little dejected. Didn't have what we needed. But we have lots, which is good. Because we're going to need motors and stuff. I think we'll just go straight to the J Concepts ones. And I should water break in them, but I'm probably not going to. I'm going to be honest. I've water broke in all my other ones. It was another set of motors. Oh my goodness. So many stock cans of motors in here. Okay, well, that was a dead end. Oh, shoot. Here's a bajillion of them. I knew I ordered a bajillion. That'll take care of us. Holy cow, how many sets is this? Oh, there's more in here. Yep, that'll do us. That's the one we need. But we got a couple. Put the directions back in there in case I forget. This is where it tells you, though. I should show you this if you were to buy a set. I probably just bought like 5 sets or 4 sets, and they all just packaged in one bag as they counted them out for it. But here's where it tells you to assemble the cases. So also a great time to upgrade the bearings. Yes, I wish I was doing that. However, I'm not doing that because I did not order bearings in time. Remove axle tube mounting hardware. Use a number 632 hand tap. Tap the gear axle halves. Ensure all the plastic shavings are gone. Then hand tap the Clodbuster axle tubes. Then they should thread in nicer than what I'm doing. So, Mad Dog's a great one, Dave. Little Miss Dangerous, yeah, man. Bush Hog. I was just watching something on Perrin's stuff. You guys aren't going to believe this, but I found those screws right in here in a bag. They just weren't over where I was thinking they should have been with all the other screws that I had from CPE. But the baggie was in here, and with paper, I guess. I don't know. I missed it. So I just went on a long rabbit chase down a hole that didn't need to go down. So this one has 4, so we're going to add our 4th one. And did I throw in my wrench when I put all that stuff away? Are you kidding me? Dave said he has a fast eddy bearing set. These definitely have bushing. Oh, no, these have bearings already in there. Looks like. Yes, these have, this axle set does have bearings in it. But dang nabbit, I think I threw my wrench in with all these bags. Let me just double check here. Yep, there it is. Boom. Fast eddy bearings are awesome. Awesome bearings. I don't know what they have in here. Again, I bought this already assembled, but it was from a racer, so I'm glad that he did put bearings in. Or at least it looks like it. Because the bushings were plastic, I believe. And these are definitely a bearing right there. Anyway, so you get a little bit more than just the assemble and do this. You get to see all my collection of Clod parts. Pretty extensive, I would say. Uh-oh, something just clicked. That did. And that is right why you do drill these out, you guys, just to avoid cracking that. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. Nothing a little glue can't fix. Nah, we good. We good. But that is why you don't. Do that. All right, I'm going to reassemble here. I'm not going to add any more grease. I like what's in there. I can feel it. I like that it's a minimal amount of grease because grease is tacky and it just slows things down. So we have enough in here to lubricate what needs to be lubricated. So we're going to go with it. All right. I was like, what is going on here? That'll take care of it. Feels nice and smooth. First bolt is still in there. Sometimes I will glue that in place just to be safe. Housing back together. A little crack in that guy, crack-a-lackin'. All right. Start with our long boys. What projects are you guys working on, if any, that you're trying to get finished up? I'm creating extra projects for myself with the mini bike stuff. I'll tell you what, these axles though, for how old the design and everything is, are so good. They're so good. Like the fact that you can run brushless power to them is insane. And they don't blow up. Internally, you will blow these up. Alrighty. A little bit longer one here. Yep. I like so. I don't think that's the one. It's gonna be longer than that. Kinda like this. It goes. I still have to finish the truck that I got from Dave. That one I think will be the Excalibur. But I also have a sweet truck to do. What is it called? Diaz Designs. It's a Clodbuster build, but it which of these is different? One of these is not the same. I need one that's thinner. For it to go here. What am I trying to say? That's going. It's not long enough. I need a more longer one. Interesting. Was there one in here? All my screws are right here. That's definitely not biting. It's not making it. Those are all the same height. Interesting. What have I done? I will have to go back to my trusty bin of parts and grab something that'll reach. So these are all the same length. Those are all from the axle, so I don't know. Oh, the case just felt like it went together better. Maybe it wasn't squeezed. It doesn't seem like the right screw either. Like they usually just push through that. Yeah, it's not the one. Ha ha ha. I have 3 bodies to paint. When the weather clears, working on getting them masked and ready. SCX30 mods and overdrive gears for North Rock. Those are fun. Those aren't too bad. Just replaced a weak motor on a Mojave Grom. 2 minutes after getting it back together, the pin and dog bone broke. Dope. That stinks. Bingo. That'll do it. First try. Smell Bear says the SGX30s look fun, but 18 is about as small as I can work on. They're a bit to work on, the SGX30s, not gonna lie. I like working on the 24 scale. Certain parts I don't mind on the 30th, and there's others I just will not touch. Got a bunch of the trusses up here too. All right. Boom. All feels and looks good. Since I have pinions, I will probably go ahead and install the motors while we're sitting here too. But let me grab some goggles. Grab my Dremel. Something like this will do. You know what? Yeah, this will do. Nice and small. Put these on, or make you believe I just put them on, but did I? And I guess nobody will ever know. That'll do. Difference, top to bottom, pretty noticeable. Oh, you guys are pretty far away. Bring it a little closer. Boom. Beautiful. These battery operated ones are awesome. I do more than you have to, but it's all good. All right. This set is done. You just, oh, there's so much down here, plastic. Now we'll just show you the difference. What am I doing? That was there. One of these flipped. Boy, oh boy. That's right. All right. So it looks like we could maybe get a bit more. Maybe get a bit more if we just take away a little here. Maybe. It's hard to know until this is fully locked in here. Don't recommend tearing into them this much, but you get a little bit more steering to be all right. All right. Put these guys in. This is when we'll really know. So once we get these screws in, we'll be able to tell if we got any extra there. Wondering because you're going to hit it here anyway, so there's no sense taking more out. The metal is going to hit. And this isn't actually a steering axle. Why did I do that? This is a lock. I just weakened it for no reason. Way to go. And even if it was his rear steer. Oh, that's funny. Oh, you know what else I didn't do? Shoot. Lucky we're only in one in. I didn't put the brace back up top. I was so focused on this part. We always got to take it apart. That's how I roll. Can't do it first try. Where's the fun in that? Where would the fun be in that? So this is going to be this screw because it does not self-tap into plastic. So it's the finer thread. Go. What gives? There. Trying to make this look as hard as possible. Again, the best part about finishing these up is it means I get to finish up the retro build, the RetroBuster. I wanted to finish it last week, and I could have finished it. The directions are easy for it, but my axles weren't ready to just bolt on. So we had to come and make some changes. Now I wonder if I should, maybe I should do wild hair or something like that. I've already got yellow pieces on here. I was just thinking maybe I should have taken these yellow pieces off while this is all apart still. How many black ones do I have in here? Do I have enough? Looks like we have plenty, so we're going to do that. Because it'll give me more options with my bodies. More options, more better. Then we'll just save the yellow ones for something else. Yellow would have worked with Mad Dog. I don't know where I'll get a Mad Dog body, though. But they're also easy to replace. I realize I have to take the other axles apart anyway here because I want to grind them too. So I might as well just switch these out while I can. And I can always go back. So now the trick is you want to leave this side to the inside for the shocks. That's why it's cut out like that. One of these seemed like it had a weird threading, so we'll see. These aren't my only ones. I do have more, so. The yellow ones will just go into my bin because I do have that yellow rear lockout too. Come on, find that hole. Got it there. Nope, I missed it completely. See where we're shooting for. I got to get back to some older videos I shot and I haven't been able to do. As we gear back up for monster truck stuff. I got some stuff still from World Finals last year I could do. There we go. That'll do. All right, so now I can put these on. I was getting ahead of myself. Somebody else could have alerted me too that I was doing my rear axle, which I would be locking out and didn't need more steering on. But I'll let it slide this time. I know people. I don't know where to get that body though. I always like the Mad Dog 2. The Blazer. Is that what it was? Yeah, you have to do like a Blazer body. Somebody has a sweet one. Holy crap, on Scale Builders Guild. Here, let me show you guys this. Wow. Wow, wow. Look at that. Let me see if I can make it bigger. So this was in 2020. He was 4 years into it. Wow, those are amazing. Look at the chassis even. Goodness. That's a next level build right there. Oh my gosh. The tube frame. Oh my word. Yeah, they nailed it on that one. That is something else. That is something else right there. Whew. What got me into monster trucks? I just loved monster trucks as a kid. I mean, we used to play with that Mad Dog toy. And we had USA 1, and we had Bigfoot, and we had Gravedigger. All the little Matchbox. I believe they were Matchbox at the time. And they'd come through the Silverdome. We lived over on the east side of Michigan, so they'd come through the Pontiac Silverdome. They'd have them out at like different shops my dad would take us to and see the trucks on the lot up close. I feel like one of them was a propane shop we went to in Holly or something like that they had it at. But Bigfoot 4. Anyway, yeah, just as a kid, man, even watching back, like the aura behind them back then is so different, I feel like, than even now. Like people just show up in a field to watch them crush cars and do stuff, because now it's like, how crazy can they flip? Back then it was just like, holy crap, guys did this to trucks. And this is next level. Like, it's just a little bit different mystique about it. Don't get me wrong, I love what they do with them nowadays. But, you know, even the backflip is done so casually now that it doesn't seem like that big a deal. There's a lot more risk too back then with it. But I was even looking at like the old Honda Odyssey before it was a minivan, when it was a go-kart basically. Yeah, that's crazy steering for these. I mean, it's hitting the... That's your stop point now. I'd say the carving did give me more, though, for sure. Because it's going right to that plastic. It's actually not even hitting it on this side, but it's hitting the plastic on that inside there. Same with this. So that's definitely more. I mean, compared to that, you can see. But that's because of the 4-steer truck, and it got a little unwieldy if you had it 4-steer and turned too much. But yeah, so that's what got me into it. Build model kits, do all that kind of stuff. But man, we just kids watching on TV. TNN, Motorsports, TNT, the Penda series. Kind of like we also would grow up watching the Ivan Stewart stuff, like when they would run all that, would be what were like buggies, which would have looked like the RC buggies back then that they would race. And they'd race them with trucks, and then they'd have quads come out. Man, quads were all the thing. Back in the late 80s, mid 80s, the quads were so cool, and they'd race them. I'm shocked that quads aren't anything like what they were when we were kids. You know, it's hard to even get race ones anymore. And this is like a 700. I think Honda makes the 250 still, and then most of the stuff anymore is for trails, and it's got a whole bunch of fairing. They're a lot harder to really whip around. Got power steering and all that stuff on them now. I don't know, motorsports were just different back then. Just a little bit different. It's all we wanted as kids. I don't get the same from my kids. You know, mini bikes, any of that. It's just interesting that they've got all of it now in the best way that they could have it. But it's not the same interest like that we had in it when we were little. Maybe because the video games weren't so good. And yes, I get it. It's such an old man thing to say. Back when I was young. But something's different about it. Watching those races with Jeremy McGrath, they were doing motorcycles in them too. They'd all race the same track. It was wild. So wild. Nothing to see here, y'all. Need a knife. We'll see if that comes back to bite me or not. We weaken that too much. That's some Fred Reap type stuff right there, y'all. You got hurt walking, and now you're gonna race mini bikes. How did I get hurt walking? When was that? I grew up down the street from Midwest 4-wheel drive. Oh, that's awesome. When it was on Lindbergh, we'd stop and get sodas from the machine. Get sneak peeks of Bigfoot when he was building it. Nice. Yeah, we had like Michigan Ice Monster here. There's a couple Michigan retro trucks back in the day. Avenger and them weren't too far off from us either. Oh, I wasn't walking. I jumped out of the boat straight into the sandbar. That one jammed me up pretty good. You're right. You are right about that one. All right, here we go. No more grinding. I don't know if I can talk and grind. I don't know how good the noise canceling is. It's pretty good if I remember, but I don't know if it's grinder good. Hey, Gems, we should see if Walter RC Park will hold a mini bike race for us at the Gauntlet. That way I can beat you and your boy at it. Just like I did with the monster trucks. My videos don't lie. Still, if you're, oh my gosh, a Honda 70 Mini Trail, dude. There's RC. He knows what I'm talking about. Oh, goodness gracious. Guys are a hoot. Oh, there we go. SMC 10, sweet. This is where it gets sketchy. Right in here. I'll just say somebody at the factory messed mine up. We're not doing that to cheat. Oh no. Ah, 3D printer, stupid thing. The filament knotted itself. Get some of these junkier brands. What is this, Overture? Why am I using Overture? I'll throw this one out. That ain't letting loose right there. That is wound. Who wound that roll? Holy cow. How many layers deep is that under? Holy crap. I mean, just even back here it's under. And then it's still, that's a bad roll. And I'm just having no luck printing black right now. You could do a step out lake if you wanted. The problem is you're also slamming into things with your front tires. So you don't want to weaken stuff too much. That is the worry, of course. That looks pretty good, though. Let's cut this whole thing out here just to allow that to have more room. Now, the trick could be you could, because it's hitting here, you could shave that a little. It just depends on the level you want to go to. That one got under my glasses. That's not necessary. I'm not bother with that. All right. Let's see. See what that did for us. So let's go ahead and put our pieces on, because we're gonna not really know unless we screw this in and lock it so it doesn't slip in the knuckle here in the carrier. So I don't usually do this much with mine, but just give it a go here and see what happens. It's a little more work than I like to have to do, but since we had it apart, it's going in well. That feels pretty good, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. By the team, we had a Suzuki Quadzilla. Those things were insane. Yeah, the rocket ship. Probably not the best idea to give a 14-year-old. Oh my goodness. It's a great idea. I just watched a video about those. And it's not just, it's probably a month ago. About the Quadzilla. What's amazing to me is how well people have maintained these things. Those quads and stuff. You'll still see old ones like that at the dunes. See, that one went in so easy. I wonder why that other one was so hard to get screwed in. All right, so this is good because this means we're going to be able to put this on the RetroBuster. Oh, we way clearance those out way more than we needed to. Probably because we trimmed that down too. Yeah. But it's stopping itself before even, I don't even know what's stopping it. Oh, the backside. We could get more. Do we do it? We trim this bad boy. I think it's hitting on the backside. I would probably don't even have to take it off. Make just all the plastic comes out. That's not what's stopping it. What the heck's stopping it? So that's how it's hitting the case, but that's not actually. Oh, well, I think we got all the clearance we're going to get with it. If you get too much here, you do rub your wheels. Yeah. And a lot of the leagues don't allow that braking. We used to use that for braking. You could really pivot the corner. Then you didn't even need steering. You just lock your front inner tire. Wham, that thing would turn on a dime. Oh, shoot. Knocked over a drink. Well, I should do these, but I'm not going to. I got enough other spares ready. I'll hand those to competition that breaks their stuff and be like, here you go, I have a spare. Ah, dang it. Tony two-time does it again. Do, 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 do. It was actually not a drink. It was, I know I called it a drink. It was. Don't go drinking that, I should say. Holy crap. All right. Trevor's got to go and be the voice of reason. Can always heat up my ladder bars and bend them. Get some more clearance for my tires. That would make it wonky. Is that not coming out? Travis says, yeah, that's the extra J Concepts one. Yeah, I got one in here too. I'm actually not going to run these steering ones. I'm going to use the one that came in the RetroBuster kit to show how it works. So let's match this. Can we match this? It's the wrong way. There's a match. I may replace it later, but we're going to run the RetroBuster one just to show how the build goes with it. All right. Going. Yellow removal done. Let's actually put this back on while we're at it, just so we don't have it all the pieces going everywhere. It's easier when you only have one to manage. So all of this steering stuff's going to come off of here. This just happened to be on the truck when I got it. Not the truck, the axles. Bam. All right, now I gotta do this one. This is the longest axle swap stuff ever. All right, so these axles are actually really fun to build too. I'm not gonna lie. We just built the ones for my sons. The gears and everything, putting it all together is pretty fun. It's way different than most builds. So this would have been probably faster to just build from scratch again, because I'd have been doing all the grinding ahead of time before I put anything on. And then I wouldn't have messed up and been like, oh, I don't want this color. It would have been the right color, which is not colored. So that looks pretty good. This is the one though that wasn't threaded. I need it to be threaded on this side. This looks good. Who here has a Clodbuster? Anybody else have them? Or have built one if you don't have one anymore? I know Travis just got done building his. Oh, I gotta get ready to take my son to Holland. Crap. Finishing up just in time. Just saw the time. This is good. This means afternoon I can finish the RetroBuster, hopefully. I think I'm gonna try a different screw. I think this one might be foobarred. I got plenty of new ones. This plastic is what it is. It's just like it's biting into it fresh. Maybe to get shavings in there. Seems all right though. Awesome. Well, we got these two done. Ground them both out, even though this one didn't need to be ground out because, well, it's going to be locked out. So, again, this is a clever lockout somebody made for it. That's a way to do it if you ever want to make your own. Just get some threaded rod and you get some over tube just to kind of slide over it. And just bend a little piece of metal like this. Bam, bolt it in there. Super clever. I love the ingenuity this hobby brings. These are extras. I mean, even looking at my kit here, these are plates that somebody used for mounting bodies. Extra Velcro in here. All kinds of washers. Here's some extra gears. Pretty set to go here. Here's more of those metal braces I was talking about. You can get these on CPE, I believe, as well. But yeah, I mean, the more you can keep in just like a little tackle box like this, they're just awesome parts to have. So when you're building like this, you can keep things moving forward, like we did with these guys here. This tool, however, I'm going to put in this bin. That way it saves on my retro stuff. It's the only thing I use it for. And I take that to the races, so I have parts. Means I'll have the driver to remove these parts when I need to right here. 2.5 kind of works, but it starts slipping and stripping, so I don't actually recommend it. But these are ready to go. These are, I call that race ready right there. It's got bearings and it's got these CPE. These are nice ones that he sells. I didn't do them on here because in my retro stuff, I definitely have a Phillips with me. And easy, I have so many replacement parts, I just left them. So I bought that kit, but I didn't end up using it. So put the motors on, get them on 13 tooth, which means I'm going to leave these standard plastics in to lock it in place. And we'll call it good. Anyway, guys. Whew. I still have these on. I don't need those on. So I did. There, proof. So much shavings on here. I'm gonna wrap that up. I'm gonna go clean off. I was waiting. We're supposed to have somebody come in and work on our furnace. We've had issues with it, and we have a leak. It's an old school boiler style, and it was leaking. And they came and looked at it 2 days ago and said, "Oh, it's gonna be like a 2-hour job. I'll have to do it at a different time, and then I'll come back tomorrow." And then they just never came back. And then I'm like, maybe they're gonna come today. I don't know. It's hard to just sit around waiting when they're just gonna show up at whatever time they want. How do you prepare for that? Anyway, knocked it out. I have another build to go up and finish. That's Dave Day's one that I got from him, which is awesome. It's pretty much done. I just have to do the electronics and install. It's built stock-wise. But I think it'd be fun to have a stock one. Not going to lie. But I think that's what I'll probably get. It's got a black body, so I'll probably do Excalibur on that one. This has more options, I think, for mounting bodies, so we're probably going to do an aftermarket body on this. I'll have to see what J Concepts has. They've got the most options for old retro monster truck stuff. I would love to get a C10 that would fit with this and do a Thunder Chicken. I'm not going to lie. That'd be one of my faves to be able to do. I would love, I don't know, I got to look at how rights and all that work. It'd be super fun to do like a watch party on here and just throw up some videos and comment on it, but I don't want to get copyright strikes. So I don't know. It'd be fun to do a retro watch party. Maybe I'll just have to do one locally. It's like a get together of the WMRCMT guys and just have like get a projector up and do like a watch party of some old racing. That could be fun. Just kind of a hangout, talk monster trucks, talk retros, bring our trucks in, work on them, have some of that going. Travis and I did that while we were working on the snowmobile. We just put on some old retro races and we're just going to town because he was working on his retro at home, but he was coming over and helping me with the snowmobile here. So it was good. I just realized I got these motor mount pieces. I don't want to lose because I don't have more of those sleeves. So I'm going to put those in a Ziploc bag. And I'm going to put them into my bin so that when it comes to putting the motors on, I'm good. Wait till you do the Buster 6x. That's not going to happen, Trevor. That's it's cool. I love to see everybody else's builds on that kind of stuff. Ain't happening for me, though. I can tell you that much. Maybe. You can't ever Can't ever say with 100% certainty. But I feel like it ain't going to happen. It looks amazing. I've been watching other people's builds of it. So, all right. I need to start switching gears, thinking about lunch, then taking my son out. He's going rock climbing with some friends, and they're all meeting up. But his brother's off at work already on that side of town, who normally would drive him. So I get to be chauffeur dad today and take him. I'm all right with that. I'll probably then, I don't know what I'll do. I want to do the RetroBuster. It all depends what time I get back. We have comp tonight. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. And I'm not sure if I do go, I might just run one truck. But I want to do a video on kind of like what trucks are like now and ask people what they're running, what their parts are, and kind of give like an overview of what the 24 scale is right now at the beginning of 2026. Because it's changing and evolving so fast. When we look back at some of these older videos, it's crazy to see where we came from. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just make it a filming night. We'll go up and we'll do like rules. We'll do what our rule sets are. And then take a look at some trucks and what they have put into them that's new, what people are running for wheels, what their builds are like. And I don't know, maybe I'll do something like that. If I do that, though, it's hard for me to run at the same time. It's just too hard. So I might take one truck and run it at the end. I don't know. I went to do it last week and nobody was there. Not enough people were there. And it's tough, though, because Brandon's not going to be there either. And he's got crazy stuff that'd be fun to have in that video in his Venge builds. And there are some other people that have Venge builds. But he's doing so much innovation with it. We'll see. There's never a good time. Somebody's always not going to be there. So, all right, y'all. I'm out. Maybe we'll see you later this afternoon. Probably a good chance.